Gen X Joe and the youth gone wild. Podcast is making your summer a blast. Lined up for interviews or rock. Legends in the game and new blood trying to make a name. Streaming everywhere. Yeah. And the youth gone wild. Podcast is making your summer a blast. Lined up for interviews or rock. Legends in the game and new blood trying to make a name. Streaming everywhere.
What is going on, my fellow beach bums? Well, wait, I'm sorry. I shouldn't jump to conclusions. Maybe you are not at the beach. Maybe you are just on a staycation. That's cool too. But myself, Gen X Joe, I am actually on vacation for the next couple of weeks. And then I have a couple of road trips I need to go on with the family and a few other commitments that I need to be taken care of. Now, before you jump to conclusions, the answer is no. No, I am not going to jail. My youth gone wild side is way in the past. That's why my show is now called the Youth Gone Mild Podcast. And just to reintroduce my podcast, it is the Youth Gone Mild, where hairlines fade, but rock never does. And normally I would be saying I am coming to you from my studio called Wherever I May Roam. However, I am actually coming to you from wherever this summer takes me. And these episodes coming up in the next couple of weeks or month, I am calling them the vacation episodes. They are already pre-produced and going to be streaming throughout the entire month of July and possibly into August. I am still going to be bringing you the best conversations, the best stories, and of course, the best guest in the rock scene today. And hell, I have some legends and I have some new blood that's trying to make a name for themselves. Great interviews all lined up. And before I get to the interview, I just want to thank my sponsor, Lisa Gandia of Celebrity Events. If you are a new artist, an established artist, or even an old head, and you are looking to book shows nationally, Lisa is the person you want to get in touch with. Tell her Gen X Joe sent you, and you can reach out to her on her website at celebrityeventsrock.com. For social media, for myself here at the Youth Gone Mild podcast, we are on all major social media platforms at Youth Gone Mild PC. And as I like to say, the PC does not stand for politically correct. All right, so it's time to kick back, crack open something cold, enjoy that sun, the sand if you're at the beach, and most importantly, the sound of the Youth Gone Mild podcast. I am in vacation mode, and these are the vacation episodes of the Youth Gone Mild podcast. Here's today's interview. You know, for the listeners out there, I don't know who knows this, but you and I did a full episode together when we interviewed Tony Montana of Great White and Once Bitten.
Yes.
We had such a blast doing that, and, you know, it got me thinking. I wanted to interview some local band members here in the Fayette County area of Pennsylvania, which is just south of Pittsburgh. And I couldn't think of anyone better than my old buddy, Eddie the Blade Adams.
Well, thank you very much for that nice introduction.
No problem. You don't want to hear the other one I had for you, so I went with the good one.
Yeah, we'll just go with that one.
Ed, so man, listen, you know, me and you go back, 35, 40 years since middle school. I gotta know, and I've never asked you this, how old were you when you first sat down behind a drum kit?
Well, my grandfather bought me my very first drum when I was 2. And of course, you know, that didn't do anything. But whenever I was 5 years old, he bought me a little kid's Muppet drum set. And I was just tinkering around with that, ended up breaking them. Then they got me another one, broke that one. And then finally, my mom saw a ad in the one ads. Someone was selling a small drum kit, so she asked me if I wanted them. I said, sure. And it just took off from there.
That's when you got the passion for it. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here. You were self-taught.
Yes.
See, that's something I could never do. No matter how much I wanted to play a guitar or anything like that, I tried and tried. I even took lessons, and I just couldn't get it. But on the other hand, freaking air guitar champion 1989, right here you're speaking to. But seriously though, who was your first drumming influence?
Peter Criss.
Ah, yes, the cat.
I seen him live with Kiss on their reunion tour, and I was paying really close attention to him. And not only is he a good rock drummer, but he's mostly a jazz drummer.
Yeah.
And that like really grabbed me.
Yeah, he doesn't get a lot of credit for influencing a lot of musicians out there, and if he does, he's not talked about. You know, it's usually John Bonham and boy, I
Neil
can't.
Peart.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. I always considered you a major talent behind the drum kit. I don't think I've ever seen you where you haven't had a drumstick in your hand, and I'm not talking chicken, or just, banging your hands on a table, the steering wheel. Whenever we hung out,
There's an old saying that I hit drums because hitting people's frowned upon. So it's a good way to get my aggression out with everyday life. And if it wasn't for band members that I was with, I don't think I'd be as good as a drummer as I am today.
well, that's awesome for you to say, but I need to back up and ask you this question as a follow-up, and then we'll jump ahead to what you just said. So every time you've been with me and you've been banging your hands on the steering wheel or on the table or whatever, you're pissed at me. Is that what you're saying?
No. I mean, honestly, my legs are always going, my hands are always tapping. I mean, and I don't even realize I'm doing it.
Right, no, I get it. And, just joking, but, you've had a lot of great bandmates in your time. And, I remember specifically, and this is going back 30 years, man, and I'm sure you remember this, but I interviewed you on college radio at California University of Pennsylvania at some point in the 1990s when you were with Locked On. Twice. Okay, I remember
Yes.
the first one. Or it could have been the second. I don't know.
Was it at the time we played acoustic?
Yes. Yeah.
That was the second time. That was the second time.
Okay, I got you now. See, this old brain doesn't remember everything. But let's talk about Locked On, and I believe that was your very first band you were in.
No.
See, I don't know you very well at all.
My very first band was called Subtle Chaos. It just fizzled out, and I got with Locked On.
You guys were straight ahead, just a heavy metal band, in the style of maybe Megadeth and Metallica at that time, maybe some Anthrax.
When we first started, it was more like Metallica and stuff like that, but then it just got heavier and heavier and heavier as we matured, and we did our originals and covers. It was around for 20 years, and I left for 15 months, and then I came back, and when I came back, they changed their name to As Fate Burns.
Right, I remember that.
So for a while there, when they had Ron Yeager playing drums, whenever I was playing with a band called Chastity, they changed the name to As Fate Burns, and all the flyers said as Fate Burns, formerly known as Locked On. So we got together, the three of us, Mark and Ed, and we played our first CD from front to back, like we never broke up. It was like riding a bicycle. We got back together. About 4 months into it, we opened for Overkill. I was a nervous wreck, but I was calm at the same time. And everyone was saying, like people that knew us and knew our stuff, said I was spot on the whole time.
You might say you were locked on.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a good feeling to know that, I just opened for a major metal band. And then 2 years later, we opened for Exodus. The guys from Overkill, all of them except for one, I won't say his name, was so cool. I mean, they got off the bus, signed autographs for people, took pictures, talked to people, and they were all really genuine guys.
You've been playing well over 35 years. And speaking of major acts, has anyone ever approached you by possibly trying out for a major act?
No. Back then, there was no such thing as YouTube. So it was really hard for a major act to find someone like me. Because here I am in a little town called Republic, growing up, playing drums. It just wasn't happening. There was a time that I did want to quit playing. Luckily, people talked me out of it. I even thought about quitting Mr. Hand, which is the biggest band I've ever been in.
And your current band.
Yes. And my wife and daughter literally talked me out of quitting. And that meant so much to me.
You've been in Mr. Hand for how long?
13 years and 4 months.
Sounds like a sobriety right there. Anyway, walk me through how you feel the local music scene in the Pittsburgh region has changed in the past 35 years from your perspective behind the kit.
There's so many bands in the tri-state area. A lot of really good bands, but there's not many places to play anymore. That's what's hurting local music.
13 years, same band, plus you and Mark, who plays the bass, go back to the Locked On days. So
Yes.
there's well into 35 plus years. And you guys kind of made a name for yourself. Is staying local, though, for you, and I don't want you to speak for Mark or anything, is that more of a conscious choice, or is it just something that you're like, hey, I'm comfortable here, everybody knows me?
When I was younger, I was really close with my grandparents and my mom. I didn't want to leave them because I almost did. And I stayed here. And they're gone now. I got my own family. And I'm just doing the Mr. Hand thing, which is all 80s covers.
Now, has your reason for playing the drums changed from when you first started?
No, playing music is a passion and a curse. For some reason, like I said, I wanted to give it up, but it keeps drawing me back. I'll get behind the drum kit and just start playing, and I'm like, I can't quit. I love this too much. It does take a toll. I have bad knees. My elbows are shot. I have to wear compression sleeves on both arms every day that after a show. I am like stiff as a board. Don't
That's
go
what
there.
she said.
Don't go there.
Had to.
I know. But I mean, it's hard for me to get like moving around and stuff. Everything starts popping and cracking, and work isn't easy because I work in a manufacturing plant, that's going to take a toll on me too. So I'm going to be really hurting.
Have you ever had to adapt your playing style over the years due to, of course, age, injuries, any physical changes?
Not because of physical, but for the style of music I do. You figure I went from thrash to 80s. I mean, like whenever I was with Rockdale and Asway Burns, it was real technical metal. And now I'm doing, like pop and dance. Yeah, I'm still hitting hard like I used to. I'll throw a little something here and there, but it's nothing compared to the way I had to play with the other band.
Do you feel that you're well enough known and a respected drummer in your hometown?
The band is respected because I would not be where I am without them.
13 years, as we've noted, you've been with Mr. Hand. And, hell, dude, that is a long time for any band, whether it's a top tier national act or a local cover band. What do you think it is that keeps you guys together?
That's a good question. Maybe because we're just stubborn.
True, I know you are.
No, I think we all are. We're stubborn and we don't want to start over. Starting over, it's not a bad thing, but it's also not a good thing. It's the what if. What if this doesn't work? What if this does work? What if it don't work outweighs the if it does? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's that fear factor that comes into play.
Yes. We don't know how much longer we have to do this. So we're just like, you know what? We'll just stick the way we are. Let's just go with it. Like now we had to get a fill-in singer, and her name's Kate Brumley. Very good singer, very sweet person, and we did 2 shows back to back.
Well, on another note, Kate is much easier to look at than Dustin.
Actually, she's a model too.
See? There you have it.
Very talented, has a very good voice, and she has a stage presence too that's very good. You want to see a show. Mark and John, they go out in the crowd while they're playing. That's what I like seeing. I like a show. I mean, yeah, I can go just watch a band just play because I love music. When you get a good show, then you're like, it makes it more enjoyable. And that's why we do what we do, the way we do it.
Well, speaking of the way you do it, how do you keep those familiar songs you've been playing for 13 years fresh and exciting for yourself each and every time you hit the stage?
Every once in a while, we'll throw a couple out and learn some new ones. The way we act, it makes everything fun. I mean, if we screw up, we'll start laughing. You have to enjoy it and the people you're playing with, and it'll stay fresh. If you ever come to a Mr. Hand show and we play Hurt So Good, watch me. I'll look right at the sound man and mouth, I hate this song, and he'll bust out laughing.
Ed, just a couple more questions. What's the most memorable gig you've ever played?
It was the first time we ever played in our hometown. And people were like, oh, they ain't going to be no good. They're just loud, crappy music and stuff like that. But those people were there. And they were like, you guys are really good. We proved a point. We work very hard making music.
Now, is there a bucket list gig or musical experience you still want to have? And in my mind, Ed, I think I know what your answer is going to be and what band it might be, but I want to hear it from you, and I could totally be wrong.
What band would I love to play a show in?
If you could open for an act, a national act, who would that be?
I would have to say Striper.
Oh, I knew it. Oh, see, I know you so well.
I'm a huge Striper fan. I mean, you've known me for, I ain't going to say the year again, but I always talked about Striper. Also, I would love to play one show at a sold out PPG Paints Arena. Would have said Civic Arena.
I thought you were going to go with Star Lake, but okay.
Or Star Lake. I mean, I would like to once in my life play a huge show like that. I mean, we did do Mountain Fest back in 2019, and there was 2,000 people. I didn't get one bit nervous. Had a smile on my face, got a lot of compliments, and I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And also, you will never believe who came up on stage at that show at Mountain Fest.
I'm going to guess, okay, and this is just because I believe this performer was in the area at that time, and it is not a rock performer. Fergie.
Nope.
No, okay, I was wrong, but go ahead.
It was the International Bikini Team.
Well, it's better than Fergie. They saw your hair.
What hair?
When they run their fingers through it.
What hair?
Just kidding, man. Just kidding. You're in the same boat as me, only so if you can row it a little bit harder than I can because you have a little bit more hair. So
very little bit more.
Music is something that can relate to almost anyone. And you started out really young, 3 years old, 5 years old, and then you moved on from there to join different bands. If a young drummer today came to you and asked you whether to stay local or chase a dream, what would you tell him or her?
Oh, that's a good question. It's follow your dream and keep pushing. Keep pushing until you can't push no more, or until you make it to where you want to be.
Well, that's great advice, dude. And you have an established career, and I firmly believe you have left a positive mark as a drummer here in the local area. But what has it taught you about life?
Believe it or not, it teaches you responsibility.
How so?
It's weird. It's really weird because you have to be responsible to keep time, be responsible to keep that rhythm. It's very hard to do because sometimes you get that adrenaline. You still have to have that responsibility that if you screw up, you could screw the rest of the band up. You got thousands of dollars worth of equipment. You have to maintain that. You have to be responsible with it. So I learned responsibility on how to take care of my equipment. So there's a lot of responsibility.
To be successful as long as you have and Mark and the rest of the band, it does come down to responsibility. And a lot of that also has to do showing up each and every time for those gigs and earning the respect of the promoters, the bookers, the fans, the other musicians that are in bands. And I have to say, you, along with Mark, Mr. Hand, and even going back to As Fate Burns and Locked On, you've always been consistent in that. And I think that's where a lot of your longevity and responsibility has come from.
Every person I ever played with, even if it was just a jam session, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be like I am today. I've evolved into a better drummer because I played different styles of music. I played metal. I played hair metal. I played classic rock for a while. I was doing Molly Hatchet, Southern rock, I guess you could say. I just love playing, and if someone needs a fill-in drummer, I'll give it a shot.
Ed, I just want to thank you for taking the time out today to be and I'm going to say this from the bottom of my heart, man, a special guest. You've been there for me through hard times. I've been there for you through hard times, and it's great to have a friend who you can count on, and continued success. I can hear the wife in my ear from 3 rooms away. You better get off the phone.
Thank you so much for having me.
I wanted to get
a story about you out there. Even though there are great musicians out there and they may not be showcased on Headbangers Ball or anything like that, just in small towns anywhere, whether it's Southwestern PA or Northwest Idaho, that was the first state I picked. There are great musicians who have a very long career at what they do.
It is very important for people to go out and support the local bands because, Metallica was a local band once, so you never know. You have to support local music to keep music alive.
All right, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you.
All right. Just because this episode is over does not mean summer is over yet. Oh, hell no. We still got 2 full months of summer left, but not quite 2 full months of pre-produced Youth Gone Mild podcast. I should be back second week of August with all brand new openings and closings. But until then, you're kind of stuck with what you got. And I do apologize for that. But like I said, we have a family vacation coming up, a few road trips, and other commitments that I need to be taken care of. I hope everybody understands. I'd just like to thank my guest or guest here on the Youth Gone Mild podcast today, all of my listeners, and my sponsor, Celebrity Events by Lisa Gandia. And don't forget, if you like what you hear, go to my social media pages at Youth Gone Mild PC. Give it a like, give it a follow, leave a comment. And if you're looking for the next episode date of the Youth Gone Mild podcast to resurface, then just follow us on all our social media platforms. And don't forget, we are also out there on all major streaming networks. And give us a like and a follow there as well. All right, this is Gen X Joe telling you to rock loud, live proud. Peace out. Props everyone for listening to the Youth Gone Mild podcast, where hairlines fade, but rock never does.
Gen X Joe and you.